Hey, how y'all doing today, baby? It's Tuesday. It's Tuesday, baby. You done got Monday out of the way. Tomorrow's hump day. Shit, we got this week kicked already. Pretty soon it'll be Beer and Bud Friday, and we're sliding into the weekend. It happens all the time, baby. So keep your head up and let's keep marching forward, baby. Well, what am I doing here today? Well, sometimes there's shit that happens in the news that I just get in there and go, oh man, I gotta speak. I gotta say something. I want to say something. And there were several things here I want to talk about, but this morning when I was thinking about other things, I got to watch Chuck and Nancy go into the Oval Office with Donnie and old Mike Pence sitting over there. Mike Pence didn't say a word. Mike Pence's job is just to pose over there and look important. It doesn't matter what you try there, buddy. It ain't working. You're pretty much an ignorant butt when you're still sitting next to that asshole. You're just as guilty as him. Anyway, they went in there to talk about the budget. Hey, I got to make a deal, because Donnie wants his border wall. Donnie wants the wall. Remember the wall? When he started out, Mexico will pay for the wall. Mexico will reimburse us for the wall. Mexico ain't going to do shit, so we're going to pay for it ourselves. All the crap that Donnie has built up around his wall, and he is still halfway through his presidency. Well, more than that, I believe. A lot more than that. Donnie still wants his wall. And he went in there this morning to visit with Chuck and Nancy and declaring that unless he gets what he wants, to be more specific, not just the wall, because he said if he does not get his funding for the border wall, for the military, or anything else, he will shut down the government. That's what Donnie said, and he's proud of it. I will shut it down. I will take this honor of shutting down the freaking government because he's going to throw a tantrum because he didn't get his wall, his monument to racism and stupidity. That's what he wants. That's the only thing on his mind. It's what he promised his little minions, the little cockroaches. They want a wall. Up to them, they'd have turrets on the wall. They'd have minefields down there in the wall. That's who they are, baby. That's who they are. They'll give up anything for the wall. You know how many government employees this nation has? Millions, baby. Do you know what government agencies impact your life every day? Thousands of them do. A lot of things depend on our government working the way it should be. But Donnie's willing to shut it down, baby. And he's in there trying. Anybody who does not think that Nancy Pelosi has the guts to stand up there and be Speaker of the House, baby, should have been there listening this morning, because she let his ass have it. He tried to tell the people, oh, well, Nancy can't speak here right now in front of the cameras. Oh, hell yes, she can, baby. And she called your ass out, Donnie, for being a what? Being a jerk. Being a jerk. You're not there to negotiate anything. You're there to throw your little temper tantrum. Ooh, you whiny little bitch. If I don't get my way, everybody in the United States will suffer. Because Donnie does not care. But Donnie's not the only one that doesn't care. I don't want to get too ahead of myself because I want to back up a little bit to the filing from the Cohen plea bargaining there with special counsel, and where he implicated individual number 1 in 2 crimes: the paying of the money to Stormy Daniels and Karen McDougal. Now, that's a campaign finance crime, and it was called out for being a crime. And Donnie's saying, no, it's not a crime. And even if it was a crime, it's not a big crime. It's not a major crime. It's just a little bitty crime. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. You need to remember something when it comes to these 2 small charges. And they are felonies. And they are impeachable offenses. But they're minor in comparison to what's going to come with the Russia money and the Saudi Arabian money and all the kind of money that the Trump organization takes in. The Trump organization. Alan Weisselberg, the CFO of the Trump organization, was granted immunity. Remember that. Granted immunity, not a plea deal. Mueller didn't tell him, oh, well, listen what you got to say, maybe we'll cut a few years off. No. He got immunity from testifying. Now, you take those 2 little crimes that aren't really big crimes, they're just little crimes, and look at that a little deeper. And they're saying that the crime was the payoff to Karen McDougal and Stormy McDaniels. That came from Michael Cohen's shell company account and paid off to them in payments. Now the question becomes, where was that money reimbursed from? That didn't come out of Michael Cohen's pocket. We know that. Michael Cohen said he did it at the direction of individual one and they got reimbursed. But it's how that reimbursement happened. As I understand it, the reimbursement happened in installments, a little bit at a time here, going from the Trump organization to Michael Cohen, shell company, to pay back the money that Michael Cohen paid the hookers. Anyway, when you split that up and try to hide what purpose that money was for, that is called money laundering. That's a federal crime, baby. If you try to hide money and how you use that money and where the money came from and what the purpose of the money legally, then that's a crime. And Alan Weisselberg knows every bit about what those payments were and when they were made and what they were made for. So this little crime that don't worry about is going to blow up into a big one when they start investigating where the repayment came for those little crimes that Donnie calls them. You know, just paying off a couple of women that, you know, we don't want Melania to find out about it. 3 wives, 5 babies. Ain't he just a pillar of evangelical Christian goodness? But there's 2 crimes. Now, the reason we wanted to talk about that this morning, because of something somebody said last night. Orrin Hatch, the senator from Utah, was asked last night about these 2 crimes that he has been implicated in. The individual one has been implicated in these federal crimes. And it was how Orrin Hatch replied that bothered me. I don't care. That's right, baby. That's what Orrin Hatch, now mind you, Orrin Hatch sits on the Judiciary Committee in the Senate. The judicial justice is what he's supposed to stand for. But he told us right out last night, he doesn't care about these little things. You know, you can make a crime out of anything with the laws that we have. That's what Orrin said. That's what that old freaking asshole said. That anything could be a crime. Anything you do could be a crime with the laws that we have. We can't be prosecuting the president. The reason that bothered me so much, besides the obvious that it's a disgusting display of the Republican ideal that the ends justifies the means. He became president. That's what Orrin Hatch said. He doesn't care. He became president. Doesn't matter how he got there. Well, it does. It does matter how he got there. And it matters to our democracy. Yesterday we heard that there was a letter sent out, signed by 44 former senators, Republican and Democrat. What Orrin Hatch has to say about not he doesn't care. I guess he humps up there with Melania, I guess. She doesn't care. Do you? Yeah, we do. We do care. It's what our country is supposed to be built on. Blind justice, justice under the law for everybody. Nobody is above the law, but that's not according to Orrin Hatch. Orrin Hatch doesn't care as long as it's a Republican. 44 senators came out because they said we are entering a dangerous period. And they felt obligated to speak up about the serious challenges to the rule of law. What a fine thing to say right after listening to Orrin Hatch explain to us why he doesn't care how many crimes the president committed. It doesn't matter. He's a Republican, and let's just wash over it. They said we are on the eve of the conclusion of the special counselor Robert S. Mueller's investigation and the House commencement of investigations of the president and his administration. He's right. They're right. Robert Mueller is about to wind down his investigation, we believe. And the investigations into this idiot that claims there's no smoking gun into him and his administration are going to start under the Democrats in the House. The likely convergence of these two events will occur at a time when simmering regional conflicts and global power confrontations continue to threaten our security, economy, and geopolitical stability. 44 senators have seen fit to step forward and sound the alarm that we are in a constitutional crisis. Do we allow a thief, a liar, a con man, an outright just disgusting individual, morally speaking, to remain the leader of this country? To sit up there with impunity because the Republicans in the Senate are scared to death to go up against the man regardless of what it is at this point. It's not enough yet. There's not enough stuff. There's not enough shit yet for the Republicans in the Senate to turn their back on him. But that's going to change, baby, because it's going to keep piling up. Donnie's all upset now because he's worried that impeachment is a possibility. You reckon? Are you shitting me? You think it's a possibility? I think it's a guaranteed thing. Whether we do it when they first take the House or wait a while and let's get some more dirt on it. Let's get more of the investigation out. Let's flood the news with his indignations of our laws, his corruptness, his greed for money. Let all of it come out. That impeachment, baby, it's a political process. It's just like, don't do that no more because the Senate is what has to take control. And we need to force them to do that. That's what I keep saying. We win this by forcing the Republicans in the Senate to stand up and defend a traitor, a con man, a liar, a thief, everything you can call him. That's what he is. And it's time they stood up because it matters to our country. It matters to our liberties. It matters to everything. Since that man has been in his house, in our house, the tone of this nation has changed. And we saw it again terribly in the short life of Mackenzie Adams. Things changed in this country when that man became president. The things that go on that he turns a blind eye to. There's good people on both sides, you know. He's a racist. He showed us when he entered the race with his rapist comments about Mexicans and crime and his Muslim ban, in his history, in his own properties, when he would not rent to people of color. Mackenzie Adams was 9 years old. Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Her classmates bullied her, called her the N-word, told her the best thing she could do is just go kill herself. And that's what she did. Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter. Mackenzie Adams' life mattered. When do we stand up as a nation and turn our back on the disgusting administration that is in there now? You know, it's 6 years since Sandy Hook today. 6 years. And how many mass shootings have we had since then? We need a government that works for the people. We need a government in there that is going to work on the problems for the people. We don't need them in there bannering around about who's going to get reelected. Everything's about reelection. He's going to search for he's all pissed off, super pissed, they say, because he can't find the chief of staff that he likes. Nobody wants to work for his ass. Nobody wants to be on the plane when it's going down in flames. Nobody wants to jump on board a crashing airplane. because Donnie doesn't want a chief of staff that is going to be concerned about the issues of the people. Donnie is being concerned with a chief of staff that will handle his problems, his political problems, all the bullshit that comes out of his mouth. I will shut down the government. Who cares? I don't care. Because Donnie's got lots of money. Donnie doesn't care about the government. Donnie never cared about this country at all until he decided to run for president, or until Putin decided to let him run for president. He never paid taxes. He never gave a shit about this country. Now all of a sudden, oh, he's the president. I love the country. Let me hug the flag. Don't buy into a stupid con. Don't buy into a lying, stinking, racist thief. Stand up for your country. 44 senators did. They stood up and they signed a letter saying this is a crisis in our nation. And we need to treat it as such. Shit. That's about all I got. It's Tuesday, baby. I got to be back here tomorrow and give another rant. And I'm sure there'll be shit that happens that we'll have plenty to talk about tomorrow and the next day and the next day and the next day. Until we remove his ass. Until we remove this orange stain from our house. Because we can't come on with this. We can't continue having our government, our nation, our flag disgraced by this man. We cannot allow another Mackenzie Adams to be bullied by racist little assholes because they get the indication that they can do that's okay. It's what the president does. We messed up, baby. Need to go back. We need to go back to the basic values of this country. And we can't do that as long as there's people like Orrin Hatch, Mitch McConnell, Paul Ryan, stuff like that. We don't need a Mitch McConnell in our government. He is doing nothing but trying to destroy everything this country stands for in benefit of his rich little buddies. And that's the only people who have benefited from this presidency is those that have lots of money. If you ain't got lots of money, tough shit. Come back later when you do. Anyway, forgot to hit the button yesterday. Like, share, subscribe. John Brittleville, Blue Dot in Texas on Facebook. On YouTube, I'm sorry. And John Brittleville on Facebook. John Brittleville Speaks, Blue Dot Family. And remind you, this Saturday, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time on JBS webpage there, the family page on Facebook. We're going to go live. Candy Guidry, Joe Riddle, Monica, Amy, and Carrie are all going to be there. And we're going to discuss how we're building the blue wave and how that wave is starting into an ocean, baby. We keep going because the issues are still there. The issues that we care about are still here, and we can't let them go. I want to thank everybody on Patreon and those who send the special gifts and stuff that keep us going and being able to keep this show up on the air. And so thank y'all very much for that. On Twitter, at Blue Dot in Texas, out my truck window, anywhere else we can get the message going. To the streets, ye guardians of liberty. That's who we are, baby. We are the guardians of liberty. And we need people in our house to stand up for our country. We need to get rid of people like Orrin Hatch, who doesn't care. We need people that care. I care, you care. We should all care. Y'all take it easy. We'll see y'all later.